assignments.
Hello.
Hello, Ajit. Good morning.
Good morning, Ocha.
Can you hear me, Sir Ajit?
Yeah, Ocha, I'm here.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Oza Alfonso, are you there? Hello. Oza hojik kidra changbiro boko. Hojik group mayam junga ile ya tuta mutang try toro yi nga juza. Hello. Oza can please try to share your document. Let's see it's working or not.
Hello, Za. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, tayo Oza.
I am T.
chúng ta hẳn là mấy chục cái làm bài ta đấy ai join trong chân đấy bạn
Audio more and lay was a call.
Audio mode na.
Audio only more and lay. Can you give
Oza na sa join to but video yaw da broza. Video to thola me Oza no hojik to but de.
I am to back to the
Okay, okay. Hello.
Zai lip lip trom chang tip.
Okay, okay, sir. Yeah. Okay, no.
Ngon. Momento.
Dear participant, please wait. We have some technical issue, so I will try to solve as soon as possible. Just give us some time.
Just the can yogra. Only sense audio connection hai. Sharing is yogra. Hello, za.
Okay, so today, ayon ay site ke tum operate ho jayega.
Pani. I see yogra.
Madam, are you there? Yeah.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Hello. It's little low.
My
Voice
place
is
is
low.
no network. I am running high here. Am I audible here?
Okay, you take your own time. Just you can take another 5 minutes, no problem. Just take.
We start.
टीम, इस चाबी की शक्ति का इस्तेमाल करो, शैतान को अंतरिक्ष में वापस लौटने का।
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you, Jose Alfonso.
Oh, shall we start?
Yeah, please. Let's start.
How to say? Hello.
Jose Alfonso, we can hear you. You can start.
Okay, a very good morning to all of you. Welcome back on this second day of the 3 days national workshop on academic writing and publishing organized by Semco Komlathabi. There are two words that evoke instant anxiety in nearly every academic, that is research paper. With sundry of activities we are engaged with, writing a research paper can seem like a daunting task and even intimidating at times. Yet, it is a vital part of academia globally. Writing and publishing research papers have now become not just optional, but obligatory. Thus comes the pertinent question, how to write research paper. To answer this pertinent question and to hone our skills of writing research papers, we have today an eminent professor who has nearly 3 decades of experience in teaching and researching, who has authored 2 books and 3 edited books, published 28 research papers in journals and conference proceedings of both international and national reputes, who has successfully carried out 6 research projects sponsored by different organizations and has attended more than 80 national and international seminars, conferences, and workshops, who have organized number of international as well as national level seminars, workshops, symposiums, and webinars as full-time coordinator. He was a member of different academic bodies and organizations, and presently he is a life member of more than 10 professional academic bodies in India. He was invited and delivered for Platinum Jubilee Lecture, Redefining Anthropology for a Bright Future India, in the section of Anthropological and Behavioral Sciences at 106 Indian Science Congress held at Lovely Professional University, Jalandhar on January 3 to 7, 2019. He has completed his postgraduated in Manipur University in 1994 and begged Kanhai Macha Sarma Memorial Gold Medal for securing first class first in anthropology, and has completed his PhD entitled Anthropogenetics of the Purum Tribe of Manipur in the same university in 2005. He was the former columnist in one of the oldest newspaper of Manipur, the Praja Tantra, from 2001 to 2002. He also served as the former HOD Anthropology, Rajiv Gandhi University, for 6 years, that is 2014 to 2020. Dear participants, we have here amidst us Professor Haubizam Wokendro. Sir, are you with us? Hello? Hello, sir. Okay. We have
I think you
amidst
can
us
hear me.
Professor. Yes, Sir Professor Haubizam Wokendro, Department of Anthropology, Rajiv Gandhi University, Itanagar. Sir, we are privileged to have you amidst us, and we are eager to learn from your vast experiences. Thank you for joining us, and may I now invite you to share us on how to write research papers. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Good morning to all. Thank you, Dr. Alfonso. Before I start my presentation, my heartfelt gratitude and thank to the convener, Dr. Ajit Singh and Madam L. Kiloni, principal of the college, for giving me this opportunity. This paper is a synthesis from many secondary sources, YouTube and online journals. This is my synthesis and a little of my experience, and it will try to show how we can write a good research paper. I don't claim that this is one of the best, but I will try my best. This will be very much practically useful, and we should be very honest our approaches are the things. So Ajit sir, can you share the screen? Hello. Please share the screen. I mean the PPT. Yes. Actually, this paper will try to examine the different components of a good research paper and how we have to proceed. Next slide, please. Yes, as I say, we will try to see the different structure components of a good research paper. And the good thing is that we will illustrate it. And if time permits, we will also try to see why publishers reject our paper. The good points we'll look into. Next slide, please. So, you know, we all need publication. The motto is that either you publish or you perish. This is the UGC phrase. You publish or you perish. Why we publish, we need to know. For personal level, we need to publish for PhD degree, for getting financial funding, for communicating with a wider audience, for reputation, for promotional avenues, and sometimes some of our very novel, very creative idea or findings, we like to make it protected from intellectual property rights. So we need to publish. Once published, it will be protected. If not, somebody copied, then you will be the user. And on top of that, we also like to share the other perspective, how we can present our view, not from others' perspective, but my own personal observation. And research communication or writing a research paper is the only channel. So we need to know about research publication, the structure, and many other things. See, we should be very honest. As I say, the new rule is that very much limited number of careless journals of UGC, very much limited number of careless UGC. Careless number 1 and careless number 2, they have. And as I say, every month, many are also minusing on the ground that these are predatory journals or these are not up to the mark. So they are not following ethics. So every month or sometimes a journal which was in the care list was again, less down. And there is high competition among the public, scholars for publication. So time taking, sometimes months and years, deadline and guidelines, editors, peer review, single, double, rejection. Of course, the academic journey, the academic exercise is not everybody's cup of tea. It's a very much tough journey. Okay, so then what should we need to know? This is the objective, the main thrust of my presentation. As I say, should be very honest. We should be very honest. How many of us are really serious about this art and craft of this research publication. Why we say research and art and craft is an art because it has highly structured guidelines, rules to follow. And is a, craft. The more you analyze, the more you have to develop. It's just like learning swimming. You know the guideline, you know theoretically, but if you don't expose yourself in water, then you won't get much use benefit. So we need to be deep dive into the core of this academic writing, and after that we will have this type of experience and knowledge. So as I say, to help different, we have to take help from different, how can I say, from before we submit our paper, how many of us seriously look into the different components? Will the components are up to the mark, represent or not? Or how many of us make it review before final submission to our peer friends or to a senior or some other someone who is a little expert before final submission? I think, if I am not wrong, we are very much casual. We will haphazardly draft, half-heartedly, and we will communicate quickly to meet the deadline, and we submit it, and within few weeks or few months, the editor will see rejection, and we lose hope. So we need to know very much of these things. Sir, please send the slide. Please come down. Yes, now before I start, we need to understand research problem, because research problem and research title or topic is very much related. A research problem, as we know, will create your research topic. So a well-written paper that enhances the body of knowledge is the research problem. Is a research paper writing, and for which we need to see the different structures, structures of a research paper. We call it IMRD, but IMRD, it means introduction, method, the result, discussion. It's not always the strict rule. In some other journals or in some other research, the structure may be same. Depends from journal to journal. Okay, so we need to understand the different issues on the research topic, on issues on the research problem. Number one, without such research problem, there cannot be any research work. In short, we can say research question and answer. With no question, no answer. Okay, so we need to understand to make a good research problem, and we already know that whole journey of research is very simple in one sense. It starts from and reach up to a question to answer, a problem to solution. But the journey is an unending journey. When you have an answer for the question, when you claim that a solution for the problem, from answer, thousands and multiples of questions are asked. Many hypotheses comes up. Again, we need to start research. So research is not a linear, it's a cyclical process, and we need to know. So to sort out a good research title, we need to examine the different sources of research problem from which we try to pick up, from which we try to synthesize or a good research topic. So number one, professional experience and observation of research problem is very much important. We need to take help from professional, the very highly experienced person, their observation. For instance, slum dwellers. One of the researcher or a professional somehow examine or look, come across slum dwellers, boys and girls who are almost 10x. Why these boys and girls are smoking, unlike other boys and girls from other communities. So inquisitiveness and observation is the arousal of our research problem creation. And not only that, intentionally, some thinkers, by virtue of their, how can I say, professionalism, they can pick up a very good topic, intentionally. For instance, now I don't claim that I'm a good researcher, but when this COVID-19 issue happens, it struck to my mind, why not we try to look into the demographic profile, the morbidity, the mortality of the COVID-19 patients. I was very curious about their age structure, about their sex, okay, and their economy status, and the link with these, with their high incidence, I mean high infection, and that leads to more mortality. So morbidity, mortality. I was very curious. It will be very good research topic if we take through mail questionnaire or something. There was okay, and also we have seen during the COVID-19 in newspaper journal. What we have seen it. Husband died. The wife who just recently also died. Their eldest son also died. See, all are very much seniors who are supposed to have high immunity, but the newborn baby is not died. The newborn baby, who we consider that very low level of immunity, who is very much vulnerable, highly vulnerable, is not died. Then I was thinking, oh, is there something to do with panic? Okay, panic or high level stress also lead to more severe condition of the COVID patient or something. I was thinking, okay, there's a thing. And not only that, we have heard of Newton while sitting in the garden, the falling of apple, from which he, make the law of gravitation. Then James Watt, after seeing the pressure of electric kettle pushing off, and invented steam engine. Ivan Pavlov, so when he saw his dog salivating while he was coming to feed it. Okay, so Archimedes, he was sitting in the bathtub, or water comes out. So different people have experienced things. All of these things we have encountered, but few, because of their high observation, they makes the different history. They make the different history. Okay, so professional experience and observation is very much important. Ozap, if you don't mind, it's not yet coming. It's not yet coming. The prior slide. It's not yet coming. The prior slide. Yes, please keep like this. I will just tell you. Okay. So another sources of research problem is literacy review, which is very important. I will come that in one section. Then another sources of research problem is we should be very highly smart. We should have an open eye and ears. Okay, because as I perceive, we can divide on the scope and on the duration, of research. Two things. One is burning short-term issue, happenings that is in the very much short-term issue. Okay, and another is what, the long-term issue. So short-term issue maybe in number of months, and the long-term issue maybe in terms of years, as we are doing in MPhil, PhD, or some longitudinal study that may last up to 15 years. But for writing paper, we should be very wise to select relevant short-term issues. As I say, this COVID-19. Why not you attempt some research article on COVID-19 that's having novelty? So, for selecting a good research, we need to examine these conditions. Number one, novelty. Novelty is one of the most important criteria for selecting a good topic. Okay, so novelty means something very much original. Sometimes people do threadbare research work, cut, paste, and copy, just to maintain their energy level. No. So in selection of a good original research work, which has not yet explored, is highly important. So whenever we select a good topic, we should think of novelty. This is very important factor. And the publisher always look. If your paper is under the category of novelty, there is high chances. They can be granted all other structures, all other factors are intact. There is high chances. And if you happen to read some of the literature, different peer reviewers, they have their own percentage. Novelty, how much percentage? Language, how much percentage? Then structure, introduction, how much percentage of publication chance? Then discussion, how much percentage of every detail. So my objective of today's deliberation is we will try to dive into different components of these structures of a good research paper. Okay. So the next number point is relevance in society. Yes, we have two types of research at measure. One is pure research and another is applied research. But if possible, why not you try to pick up a topic which is highly significant in society? That will be part of the applied research. Okay, but I don't mean that applied research is better than pure research. The two are inseparable from the theories that we generate from pure research, that it acts as a raw material, and the feedback that will be taken into applied research and then will lead into practical application. So if possible, why not you go to some applied research that is highly relevant in society? That's number two. Then number three criteria is interest, passion. Why passion and interest? Research is a journey. If it's a short term, not much a problem. But if it's a long term journey, for PhD, at least from 3 years to 7 years. So the topic that you have to pick up should be highly passionate. And when you have passion, the journey will be what? Very much gay, very much happy. There will be no dull and dry. Okay. So you think of a topic which is very much highly passionate to you. And not only that, you should also think of your expertise knowledge in the field, expert knowledge. And not only that, taken for granted, the topic is having novelty, relevance in society, interest, and you have expertise on the topic. Yet, you need to examine the feasibility. The feasibility. Without feasible, you can't start your research work. So feasibility is very important for selecting a good research. And on top of that, you also need to examine whether the topic or the work you have started is within ethical norms, or else that may be has problem. So we can see some example like a topic such as impact of COVID-19 on different groups of people. The next is this broad topic from which you try to narrow down intimate partner violence during past web lockdown. Intimate partner violence during past web lockdown in Guwahati city, Assam. Okay, here from the broad topic is now narrowing down. So impact. What type of impact? Is it psychological impact? Is it social impact? Is it a health impact? Okay, we need to examine such things. And the group of people, which type of people? Is it daily wage earner or first liners, medical professionals? Hello, my voice is audible. Hello, sir. Hello.
Sorry.
It's audible, sir. It's audible.
Okay.
Audible.
Thank you. So, Sil, I think I have given or not. I just shared 3 or 4 tentative titles, and I just like to take your opinion. Which title is the best title, and why? Okay. So here, topic number 1, impact of COVID-19 on different groups of people, and number 2, intimate partner violence during past wave of lockdown in Guwahati city. Now is, as I say, past wave, second wave. So we try to specify, make it more targeted. The next topic is the sense and continuity of the traditional house types of the cookies of Manipur. Suppose you are trying to write a paper and trying to submit to one of the publishers. Your number one will be when the publisher when the editor see your topic, is outright rejection. COVID, impact of COVID-19 on different groups of people, outright rejection. I think we will discuss why. Then number two is hiding. But number three, the sense and continuity of the traditional house type of the cookies of Manipur. I think there is no defect in the title, but see the social relevancy, and the novelty. It's not very much, many people already done that work, okay, and it's not much social relevance. So it's a basic resource, a pure resource. Sir, the next slide, please. Next slide, please. Now, let's see some of the important tips for selection of your research title topic. Number one, it's very important. Publishers, editor, they always look it. Make your title short. Phrases like a study of, okay, or a historical study of, a political study of, an investigation of, an investigation of, all these are not necessary. I think if I am not wrong, just open any research article or paper or dissertation or MPhil thesis. Many of our scholars there, an anthropological study, a historical study. If I'm a student of anthropology, no need of mentioning anthropological study. An investigation, I'm doing research. Why investigation? A study of, I'm doing research. Research is study, research is investigation. So don't put unnecessary word, unnecessary phrase. Make your research title very much short. And not only that, your title should be very catchy. Very catchy. Number 2 point, very catchy. It should not be lengthy. It should not be boring. Because if it's lengthy and boring, it's very less chances of citation. And number 3, it must identify the main issue of the paper. So when someone sees your topic title, they should understand what may be the content of your research. What is the main theme of your research? So it must identify the main issue of the paper. It must summarize the content and may also show method, theory, or model. Say, for instance, a cross-sectional study of the growth study of Manipuri Meitei boys in the age range of this. Just example. The next point is your title should not be put in question form or not a complete sentence. It should be a phrase. Sometimes scholars in MPhil title, they bring their title with question form or a complete sentence. So this is wrong. Okay, title should be take care. It should not be in question form, nor it should not be a complete sentence. It should be a short phrase, very catchy, very short, and try to throw the method, if possible, the whole theme, and so on and so forth. And your title should also try to not include abbreviation. If not, the abbreviation is very highly standard. For instance, instead of writing COVID-19 in full form, abbreviation COVID-19 is more people understand. And instead of writing deoxyribose nucleic acid, so DNA is much better. So you can use in your title such type of very high standard abbreviation, but others, please don't use it. No abbreviation. And I say, you please narrow down your scope of your topic. As I have already mentioned, it should be very much specific, or else it will be rejected. So next slide, please. Yes, as I say, after we, the first component being the title of your paper, then the second component is abstract. Actually, it should be discussed at the end of the whole discussion, and abstract should be written at the end. Abstract should be written before you complete your whole paper. But some of us has a tendency to write the abstract before we complete our research paper or research work, and this will create handicap. Okay, but for our just following the sequence of this structure of research, title, then abstract. Now let's try to deep dive. Let's try to see the different points to be included in abstract. Okay, an abstract is a very much advertisement of your work. I will say it's a trailer of your research papers, and trailer of movie. So abstract is your trailer, your research paper. Just as the trailer evokes eager to see the movie, your abstract must appeal to examine the whole paper. When the film trailer is coming, then we are kept at suspense. Oh, then what should be the next? Our mind is at a hanger cliff. And what should be the next? And we like to continue and enjoy the movie totally. So your abstract should evoke that type of, what to say, eagerness, hunger, okay, and make the audience know this disappointment in investing their valuable time and energy in reading your paper. Make your paper a blockbuster with high citation rate. Okay, so these 100 to 300 words, which is a single paragraph summary, represents the whole paper. So we can say that this is the face of the paper. This is a mini passport of you. So make it well-groomed, concise, clear, easy, and accurate. This is the importance of abstract. Now, if we know it, what are the content that a good abstract, needs to entail? Number one, what is the study about? You need to explain the problem of the research. You need to explain the problem of the research. Say, for instance, I'm going to illustrate whole of this in the full abstract in the coming slide. But before that, we will discuss that a hypothetical abstract, how to write it. Point by point, we discuss. But just before I mention it, as I say, suppose we are picking up a hypothetical topic of son preference and spousal violence. It's very much vintage in many parts of India. Son preference and spousal violence. So if our topic is son preference and spousal violence, then for abstract we need to give our research problem. Why son preference leads into social pressure to couples and sometimes divorce, polygyny, female infanticide, which we need to write in present tense active voice in the abstract. Okay, so this will be the first part of what the study is about. And the second part is objective and the significance of the study. Objective and the significance of the study. Okay, so if in the coming to the hypothetical example, we may say, got such practices leads into atrocity towards female genders and demographic imbalance. In order to examine such issues, the present paper examines son preference among the Meitei couples of Phayang village or ex-village. This is hypothetical I'm giving, or any village in Arunachal or any part of India. And the atrocity of females from husbands of Phayang village of Manipur, the findings shall be highly beneficial to social scientists, social welfare department, or relevant intervention. So the significance, objective, and it should again in present tense active voice. Okay, and the third point is what he's done. What he's done is very important. Means in order you objective, I like to know this. We like to examine how much incidence of female infanticide, or what is the sex ratio of boys and girls, the male and female, and what are the factors that leads into indulging such type of spousal violence. Many factors, many objectives we have in hand. But how we have to fulfill our objective is we need to mention it in our abstract. How we need to fulfill our objective of the paper or the research, dissertation, or anything. Okay, so just hypothetical, I may say 100 couples through in-depth random sampling. A little 100 couples in the age range of 18 to 36 with by taking random sampling, were interviewed. So it's now method should be in past tense. Were interviewed. There is no hard past, but it depends upon the guidelines. But most of the time is written in past form. This methodology. What you have done. What you have done. It's a methodology. This is a methodology part. Okay. The next point is important findings. So in this 100 to 300 one paragraph summary, you need to also mention important findings, which you need to write in its present tense. So important findings. Let me say important findings. This is hypothetical. 75% of the couples prefer son preference. 56% of the couples prefer son. 11% so son, but 9% of the women reports atrocity in the hands of their husbands, whereas 5% of the husbands reports reverse spousal mental harassment. Present tense. That's an example. Okay, and this is the important point. You have to express in present tense. And last part of your conclusion. Okay, and it will entail, your conclusion will entail a general answer to this problem. You know, this conclusion should entail a general answer to research problem, plus what is the implication of the findings, which you need to express in present. So let me give an example. Say an example: a large number of the following couples prefer son to daughter. So large number is scientific. How much is large number? How much is not large? So within bracket you say 75%. A large number within bracket 75% of the following couples prefer son to daughter. In the village, few women. How much is few women? 9%. You know, encounters atrocity because of son preference at the hands of their own husbands. Few cases of mental harassment is also found in the village. Finding thus implies to give gender awareness sensitization program on the people. So the implication is also given. Then main finding is also given, and that is very important. So next slide, please. So next slide, please.
It's okay now, sir?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, no problem. It's okay. So this is the a hypothetical abstract that I like to share with my respected participants. You know, so what they study about, you need to mention problem of the research here. This yellow reference listening to social pressure to couples and sometimes divorce, polygyny, and female infanticide, present tense active. Then next point, objective and significance of the study. Such practice leads into atrocity towards female genders and demographic imbalance. In order to examine such issues, the present work examines son preference among the Meitei couples and the atrocity of females from husbands of following village. Hello. Yes. The findings shall be highly beneficial to social scientists and social welfare department for relevant intervention. This is part 2. Part 3. What has been as a methodology? How to fulfill your objective. 100 couples through in-depth random sampling were interviewed, past tense. The next point is what important findings? 75% of couples prefer son preference. 56% of the couples prefer son. 11% shows meta son preference is meta son preference. 9% of the women reports atrocity in the hands of their husbands, whereas 5% of the husbands reports reverse spousal mental harassment. Present tense. And conclusion. Part of the abstract, last part of the abstract. A general answer to research problem, plus what is the implication of the finding. I think I've already explained. A large number, 75% of the following couples prefer son to daughter. In the village, few women, within bracket 9%, meet or face or encounter. Okay, I mean, I just give it because sometimes reviewer are very much minorly they see suitable words. So meet, face, encounter. I think encounter is the better one. Atrocity because of son preference in the hands of their own husbands. Few cases of spousal mental harassment is also found in the village. The finding thus implies the implication, last part, to give gender sensitization program to the people, present tense and activities. So one of the tips is that, as I mentioned, you should write your abstract after completing your paper. Now avoid difficulty terms, excessive jargons, and check the completeness and accuracy of the abstract, as incompleteness or inaccuracy may lead into direct rejection. Never write lengthy background information. Take feedback from your supervisor and friends. Okay, so sir, next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yes, so in order of sequence, we have what? Title, abstract, then key, the structure or the components of a good paper. Title, abstract, keywords. Now keywords. The keyword
Sir, are you there? Sir, are you there? I think resource person is having some technical issue. Just let me wait. Sir Boken, are you there? Sir Boken?
Network problem or money?
Yeah. I'll just call.
Okay, you please call.
Okay, he will be back in a moment. Okay, he's back. Oza Boken, are you in?
sorry for the interruption. There was a problem in the network. Thus, I'm again reconnecting. I think my voice is audible now. So,
Yeah, it's audible, sir.
yeah, keywords. Keywords are very important. You know, these are the words that determine your search engine. I think yesterday also Dr. Rila also mentioned it. Very important for search engine, and you know, we need to use interesting and relevant keywords. Interesting and relevant keywords, and if possible, not too technical, so that the chances of citing your work increases. And as an experiment, you can type in Google search engine whether your keywords is very much popping up very easily and not facing any problem popping up. So you can check it, but your keywords should be very much important for your topic title and the whole of your research paper. And the word that is mostly used is not necessarily the keyword. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. Now we have title, we have abstract, we have keyword. Now comes introduction, the first component. The next component of a good structure of a research paper. Introduction. Introduction sets the scene of your narration of the paper. A brief overview of the topic and the reasons for conducting the research. It should be spelled out in introduction. the description should be funneling, meaning that the content should be narrowed down from the general subject area to the specific subject area of the topic. And in short, we can say we need to start our introduction with background information. Background information means what we know of the topic. What we know of the topic is already published. So what is known, we need to mention. And after analyzing what is known, after what we call literature study of the topic, we may find any gaps, or if the topic is very much novelty, new, unknown, okay, then we have to justify why we are picking up such a topic, and we justify such a topic. That will be the significance or rationalize of your topic. And again, as I say, in the problem which we need to have a solution, problem in relation to the problem, we have so many 1, 2, 3, 4 objectives, and that we have to mention in our introduction. So there's a thing. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah, as I mentioned, so introduction, what is known, background, we need gap or any problem, unknown problem, then we need to justify in our introductory part. We need to mention about the methodology. As I say, we need to start from the background information. I will share with one very the same very hypothetical topic. So start from the background information. As I said, finding the topic means narrow down, then clarify the terms and concept of the topic, then show few important earlier works. But when you are trying to show your few important early works, do not forget to include up-to-date information. Okay, literacy review, for instance, you are doing 2021 and you are giving up to 2010, and after 2010, so many latest publications, you ignore it, then there will be one of the reason for rejecting. As I say, every component of the paper, every component of the paper, the editor, the reviewer, they have already assigned mark. Topic title, this must mark. Introduction, this must mark. Abstract, this must mark. Language, this must mark. Conclusion, this must. Discussion, everything is detailed. As I say, if I am not mistaken, many of us write papers haphazardly, half-heartedly, at random, arbitrarily. Writing. We never look these things detailed. We never look of it. But we also sometimes more confident. I have been working in this field for the last 20 years. Yes, we have it. Okay. So this last one is to fulfill the scope and the objectives to delimit the scope and the important. Is very important. Let me repeat. From the literacy view, from background literacy view, we try to know our research problem, or anything, and that or anything does go to reachable. The problem is searchable. That will be then how to fulfill our objective of our this research that we need to mention in the introduction methodology. But as I say, in many of the physical, chemical, biological method social science. I think my daily is more of social science oriented. My assessment social so the is if what object so
Sir, your voice is not audible, sir.
Oh, your
Sir, yeah, your voice is breaking actually.
breaking now. Maybe hello, hear me now? Maybe the problem.
Yeah, it's coming, but it's not fully audible. Some breakup is.
Okay, so I will try to speak a little slow. Yes.
Yeah.
So
yes.
our objective deal with our research work and the scope, and our objective is very important for selecting the relevant methodology to fulfill. Okay, so the next slide, please. The next slide, please. Ajit sir. Yes, yes. This is an illustration how we write a extract. Sorry. So we are considering the hypothetical example: son preference and the spousal violence among the couples of X village, maybe 5 village or any village in India. So the background information. See, let me read it. This is small. Gender-based violence, within bracket ZBV, is almost a universal phenomenon. Violence may be physical assault, psychological abuse, social abuse, financial abuse, or sexual assault. As per the statistics available, every 3rd minute, a case of violence against women is registered in India. So you have to give the citation number 1. Every day, 50 cases of dowry-related violence are reported, and every 25 minutes, a woman is raped. Citation: there has been increasing concern about violence against women in general and domestic violence in particular in both the developed and developing countries. India's National Family Health Survey carried out 29 states during 2006 has found that a substantial portion of women have physical abuse by husband at the same time in their lives. At the same time, their life. Hello, sir. Sir, moderation. I will come little. I am now in one presentation. I also send the questions, sir. Already I have sent. Please. No, I have submitted. Please take your email, sir. PhD. Yeah, last night, sir. You please take it, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sorry. National. Yeah. See here. This is the background. Yellow highlighted one is the background information. Background information. Now, from this background, now I'm describing general scenario of violence in Indian context. Now I'm finally from general theme to what Manipur is not an exception. The National Crime Records Bureau reported 140 cases of violence against women in Manipur, including the so these are finally. But here, interesting review is old. 2005 is very old. Here, then 2003, 2005 is very old. So you take care of this will be outer restriction. You take care of so this is the background. Now, the background here I divide now from context to then different violence or the different forms of violence related to sufferance while you practice in many parts and fewer countries.
Sorry, your voice is breaking again.
The of Zen is feticide in her mother's son and yes, for the males.
Okay, sir, your voice is breaking again.
I don't know how can I do it. Maybe
I mean, it must be some network issue. So, dear participants, as you know that we are facing lots of technical issues today. So please, please cooperate with us.
I'm personally no, I'm not like I'm not lecturing. I'm sorry personally, but I'm sorry. It's not audible. How can I do that? Sir, can you make a larger content?
It's breaking now.
Who's it? This is the problem. So, what shall I do? So,
Let's continue, sir.
is now
We don't have any other options right now.
Yes, now that is the funneling. Now, also you to give some significant works, such as duration of boys longer breastfeeding as to girls child, then give some reference, give the citation and reference, educational qualification of parents and son preference, and you know, some significant literacy review you have to need it here. Significant literacy review, very much some old and very recent most on the theme. These are the red highlighted are the very significant literature review of the introduction. It's very important. Then come to objective your study. The present studies attempt to examine knowledge, son preference, method preference, any kind of difference, breastfeeding, duration of boys and girl child. Now we see girl children in the area. Controversial issues parents doing more or less are all to examine among the couples of fan base. So what I have to say is that we need to give our very much concrete and concise and clear objective we need. And the last part will be what? The last part will be what? You know, the methodology. The last part is methodology. For the present study, spousal violence means the violence done by the husband, and reverse spousal violence means anyone. See, these are my my phrase. I think so far I didn't oppose spousal violence or spousal violence maybe, but reverse spousal violence is my creation. Only for what? Utilizing for this my present study. So this is called operational definition. So spousal violence, reverse spousal violence, these are operational definitions. So we need to keep it in the methodology part, and we need to define it. So concepts, very important concept that you use in your research paper, you have to define here in your introduction. So here your concept should be defined. Okay. So, and the methodology, as you have to properly mention it. A random sample of 100 couples in the age range of 18 to 36. Why 18 to 36? Why not 14 to 60? You should justify everything. You have to justify your methodology. And be interviewed, and in a village of 100, then again sample size is 100 couples. So you have to give justification. Why 100? Why 100? You have to justify. Get my point? You have to justify the things, and then not only that, last you have to mention the findings are analyzed with statistical tools and techniques, so and so. Sir, can you come to the next slide, sir, please? Hello, Ajit sir.
Yes, sir.
Next slide.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the cracking voice. Next slide, please.
Are you seeing the next slide? It is.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. I'm coming.
Okay.
Yeah, this is results. Next part, as I said, we have title, we have abstract, we have keywords, then we have introduction, and we have results now. We'll see this. I think, sir, again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, results. Okay, let me say results. The results. Say in the introducing the result, we need to state the research problem in lack of introduction than earlier, and the result is very much important. As I said, we have to say the things here, the result, without interpretation. We have to say the findings as it is. Okay, there is one saying, the data itself tells. So you keep your findings as it is, no interpretation, sequentially, because you have three objects. You have three objects. Then first result for the what? First result will be for the first objective. Then you again think of the results of the second objective. Then you again think of the third objective. Means do not skip or do not make your presentation of your result incomplete. Okay, there's a thing. And the data should be presented in the form of text and sometimes in necessary illustration, chart, map, photos and tables wherever demand. But take care when we use map. People haphazardly keep map without other people are doing, other scholars doing. I'm kidding. Every action, every content should have its own logic, rationale behind. So I'm keeping it. Hello, can you? My voice is audible. Hello, sir. Hello, Ajay, sir.
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
Ajay,
It's,
sir.
it's audible, sir.
Okay,
It's audible, sir.
Thank you then. Now let's see the illustration. Now let me continue the same son preference and the spousal violence illustration of the result. So imagine because of son preference, spousal violence and female feticide is evident in many earlier research work. So give the citation 6 to 19. This social practice is a crime that harasses many women and murdering of fetishides. We are restating the research problem in the light of the research introduction. Okay. The empirical findings of the present study shall throw light on the problems of the social issue. Is a possible outcome, you mentioned it. The attitude of the couples on son preference is shown in table number 1. And it is observed that table number 2 describes about the knowledge of the husbands and wives on sex determination of boys and girls. And it is seen that 96% of couples don't know exact scientific explanation. So what I mean is that let the data tells itself. No interpretation in the result. Okay? No interpretation in the result. Let the data tells itself. Next slide, please. Sir, next slide, please. Aziz, sir, next slide, please. Okay.
Slide, sir?
Now, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, now coming to discussion part, we have what? Title, abstract, keywords, introduction, result, and discussion. Discussion part is coming. Discussion part. In the discussion part, we need to give any. We need to explain. We need to show main findings in the result. The objective of discussion is explaining the findings in the light of the research objectives by mentioning the matters and findings mentioned in the introduction, and make sure to discuss findings of all objectives discussed. And we have to explain how we can solve the research problem, how we can give the answer of the question of research. We need to explain the meanings of the findings and why the findings and the interpretations are important. And not only that, we need to relate similar findings to the past and present to show any trend of the present. For instance, higher the income, higher is the son preference of the couple. Past findings, we can show that these are significant findings and interpretation. And to examine alternative explanation of the findings from some theoretical model or some other paradigm or something, to show the study's limitation. We also need to show limitation in the discussion part, to show novelty and importance of research. So showing novelty is very important. Any novelty here in the discussion part will carry must weight. And we need to suggest for future research. And from in some types of research, if your research is formulatory, exploratory type, you will form new hypotheses. So you have to mention, and as I said, you need to match any potential limiting of findings. So these are the important elements or components of discussion, which we need to very much strictly important. This discussion part is very logical. We give the depth argument or in-depth understanding of the scholar. Okay, the thing. Next slide, sir. Next slide. Yes, this is the discussion part, illustration of the same topic, meta preference. Son preference and spousal violence. So, as I said, we can see inference from the discussion how your findings can claim in solving the debating issue. Okay, the finding shows that the controversial issue of parents' educational qualification not supporting to female infanticide. Okay, we need to show it statistical value, because in the literature review we have already come across that the more parents' education, the higher is the female feticide and the practice of son preference. But in some other findings, if parents are giving a higher education, higher qualification, lower will be practicing of this. There is in this issue is the unsettling. So your present finding, you have to show it. You have to argue it. Okay, the result you have to read it. So that I'm writing it. However, it may notice that in some of the early works give the citation, the higher the educational qualification, the higher is the practice of son sex selection. The result, So maximum the so now I'm interpreting. Please see it here. Not only the result in the discussion, you also need to interpret. Now I'm interpreting. So maximum of the couples blindly think that only the wife is responsible for delivering son, while in action the wife which is present only in the husband is husband is responsible for delivery of son. However, none of the parents is to them as the passing Y chromosome or X chromosome of the husband or the father involuntary, and everything is in sons just like the tossing of a coin. Okay, therefore blaming one each other, husband to wife, wife to husband, it should not be. Therefore, awareness program on sex determination needs to be given among such couples so that mutual blaming to one spouse is stopped. So I am interpreting at the same time I'm also giving the implication of my finding the discussion part. It's a very good point, valid point. Okay, the next point. The higher percentage frequency of meta-son preference, 46%. Meta-son preference, we have already described in the introduction some important concept. Meta-son preference introduction we have. So meta-son preference means in Manipur we call it nupatanda. Nupatanda means because of son preference, a couple may have first daughter. Son chahiye na, second female, two female. No, we need one son. Then again female. So until unless a son is coming, that is called meta preference, arbitrary sense concept. Shows that the couples prefer son their daughter. I'm keeping it should be some, as I say, if you finally analyze some of the why rejects, language is one problem. So much minorly they have seen, they divided in article, preposition. Okay, subject predicate agreement. They have everything. They have everything. Whether your paragraph, sentence continuity, consistency, everything they have finally. But as I say, we do it haphazardly in our own way and just submit through online just to meet our deadline. So here I am giving just an example, just to one that take care of your language too, so that the couples prefer son to daughter. So I write son then intentionally. This is in concordance with the attitude of the husband, wives for son preference. Give the percentage and imbalance ratio of boys and girls. Give the figure number. This demographic imbalance can lead into different social problems such as rape, conflict among males for competing sexual partners, adultery, or unavailability of partner for males, which may lead into unstable life that may even lead into suicide, as stated by Talcott person. So, here is you interpret implication again, one good implication here. At the same time, you try to take support from credible supportess. The Talcott person is a very highly renowned figure in sociology, social scientist. So uska saying, he's saying, you know, we are referring, just supporting your argument. Just I'm trying to show it intentionally. Okay, the next point, the potential limitations of the study is that since the issue is sensitive and personal one, distortion of actual intended response may not be ruled out. Okay. However, anonymous keeping of identity, that is not taking names or identity of the respondents at the time of data collection, and researchers' pursuit and keeping confidence to maintain all sorts of confidentiality, make likely hamper, it should be hamper the potential limitations. So any limitation in your discussion, we need to mention it. Any limitation. So again, as I said, distortion of actual intended response. So this such type of phrases is not encouraged. So can you say simple telling lie, or what? Concealing the fact, something like that. So take care of this. Now I am coming to that. This is the IMRD form, means introduction, method, result, discussion, and conclusion. IMRD form. In any of the social sciences, based on the guidelines of the journals, research is plugged together. When you are writing your result, you also interpret and discuss in a minute. So that's why I say result. Okay, the next slide, please. Next, last. Hello, the last slide, please. Now this is the.
It's also.
Yeah, the last part is conclusion. You know, we have to summarize or synthesize the key points, important points, not minor, important, major important points, because this is conclusion, not detail, major significant points. I will show in my illustration. And also we need to show the impact of the research work, and we need to mention the important arguments in the conclusion. Then most important, what your work add to the existing body of knowledge. So this is the main cream of your paper. What your work add to the existing body of knowledge. If you are taking up not a novelty, not an original work, so many other scholars are doing it. You can just do a little literature review and give your synthetic view. That has very less significant, and your research paper, how much it can contribute, how much it will, you know, add in the existing body of knowledge. Why don't you understand the concept of existing body of knowledge? Let me just 1-2 minutes. Let me take time. You know, we as human society, as a knowledge bank society, and in society we have knowledge, and every year our knowledge is increased. Even we say, even in religious group, the Old Testament, the New Testament, in religious, so knowledge is increasing. Okay, so the frontier of knowledge is expanded the human research work, and whether your finding can contribute a little to the expansion of the knowledge. That is the implication. So here comes again, I'm emphasizing a novelty, a very original work is very. And I post, and also in your conclusion, you have to suggest your future work plans for any general application. There's a thing. I think I will show it, but I leave it one very important topic like literature review. If time permits, I think we can discuss. It's very important. Maybe in our question hour session, if somebody else, I would think I can share with. I may take 2-3 minutes. So last slide, sir, please. Sir, last slide, please. Ajit, sir. No, yeah. So this is the. Right. So the illustration of the conclusion. Now, dear participants, I don't claim that my hypothetical different components of research is the best. Okay, thus I make it only for your presentation. It's a hypothetical topic, but I was so much motivated. We can pick up a good research work on this topic. Son preference and spousal what is that, violence, even reverse spousal violence, my own creation. I was doing a little exercise. Then I said, oh, it will be a good topic. It's not done at all. Very honestly, I'm saying it's very no. Even a reverse spousal concept, I think it is very interesting. Okay, so I don't claim that this conclusion part or abstract part or anything is the best. Just a little of my knowledge I share with you, and there may be some language error or something, but as far as possible, because as I say, from social science, a little better, from other physical, chemical, and biological sciences, English little form expression is very difficult. So if possible, why not you try to take some English professor or somebody who can correct the English. So the present study examines some preference of couples of village, Sepang village of Manipur by examining their attitude, knowledge, and practices. The paper also examines spousal violence in relation to some preference. Of the 100 sample size, majority of the couples, 96%, did not know the scientific knowledge of sex determination and blindly accounted to wife. Such blind belief leads into spousal violence percentage. The finding also vividly shown the skewed sex imbalance. The findings on meta-son preference and attitude of the couples on son preference thus leads into gender imbalance. So the statistics ratio of percentage. The study also has shown the controversial issue of educated parents who are practicing more or less sex selection for son preference, while considering such issues of son preference, knowledge, attitude, culture, and beliefs and practices, strict medical law, and many other factors need to be examined. As for instance, a community that vividly practiced high bride price, having the belief of funeral pyre ritual to be done by the son only, and less strictly on medical termination of pregnancy Act MTP Act 1971, may have high rate of ratio. So the language is not nice. Okay, please, we need to review the language. Couples very complex. We should not give complex sentences. It is a very ambiguous. So it should be very short, simple, effective sentences. So the language we need, as I say, in order to meet only for the presentation, I just do it very quickly. Sorry for that. Couples who belong to such community and who are educated and economically relatively better than uneducated and lower economic income group, or who don't have such beliefs and practice. So see the language. So this is hypothesis for future research. The finding people don't have such beliefs and practices, as they don't have dowry system and any other cultural practices. The research implies for giving awareness to end blind beliefs and practice of sex determination. Important implication, you give it any loose ends on the state government's law in order to, in relation to MTP Act, may be reviewed. Important implication. The present findings will be beneficial for scholars, government, and health personnel working in such fields. Further research on such issues may be extended in different populations who are practicing son preference and spousal violence. Extend the research to fill the gap. So this is the thing. Ajit sir, the last slide, please. Ajit sir, last slide. So last component will be acknowledgement or reference. If you have any acknowledgement, if you are writing your paper from your research project or some dissertation, you have to acknowledge properly. So the part will be, the last part is reference. Reference are so many style: Harvard style, Vancouver style, then MLA style, AP style. So many reference. So we have to strictly. We have no option. We have to strictly follow the journal's rule. Okay, and referencing we need to be very much understood in detail, because the wrong referencing will outrightly reject your work. So nowadays we have different softwares and reference. This we can save time. So I think I jumped literature review, but it's very important, but because of time constraint. So thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, as we are doing online and as we go on digital, we are having so much network issue from like everyone. And in the beginning, there was issue from the participant also. They were not able to join somehow. But after then, it was okay. They were able to join. So please bear with us. And we will be taking questions and answer. If you have any question, please be ready. Sarbokan, I will be taking the first question from Chanabam Ritu Devi. She wished to know that what is the hypothesis and how to write this.
Hypothesis is the tentative answer, a wise speculation, a reasonable answer for any question. Hypothesis. Okay, and how to make a good hypothesis, and what are different types of hypotheses? These are very interesting things. You know, hypothesis, a good hypothesis should be testable, should be very precise and concise, and it should reflect the, as I said, the most plausible answer. And important function of hypothesis is that it saves time. It's a guiding star. It's a guiding star in the dark night of a weary journey traveler. How? If we can have a hypothesis, our area of data collection, I mean, say our endeavor to data collection will be minimized. Say, let me give a very common example. I lost my pen, which I kept on my table. Then I may think that, oh, the past hypothesis may be the most likely answer may be, oh, my pen may be just falling under the table. So past hypothesis. Okay, past hypothesis. So it saves timing. It saves timing. It saves timing. I'm not looking to outside the window. I'm not looking to under my pillow. It saves timing. So the important function of making hypothesis is that it delimit your data collection and many other things. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, we have another question from Dr. K.S. Brojendra Singh. He would like to know, please explain more regarding the main argument of the conclusion part with example. Shall I repeat the question, sir?
Yeah, I understand.
Please explain more regarding the main argument of the conclusion part with example.
Okay. So in that illustrated hypothetical topic, son preference and spousal violence. See, in many of the literature, educated parents indulge more female feticide, more son preference. There is another group of camps, another group of findings. Then another group of research findings already in the in data bank. You know, another group finding. The higher the educational level of the parents, the lower is the such type of son preference practicing or female infanticide. So there is a controversy. Okay. So there is a controversy. These two controversy of two camps of findings. Your present finding of son preference in Payeng village or any village, where you stand, you have to argue. Where you stand, you have to argue. That is number one. Okay, and not only that, this son preference, many of the people, they practice son preference at the cost of female feticide. Okay, so those group of population which has the culture and belief that only the sun will ignite the ritual fire, marne ke baad. Okay, only ignite the ritual fire, and those group of population where dowry system is very much high. So these daughters are supposed to be a very high cost liability. So in such type of population, my argument was that in type of population where dowry system is very high, then that fire ritual is very high. Okay, in such type of society, this son selection will be very high, female feticide will be very high. Okay, but coming to village, since the population doesn't have that type of culture and implication, they may be relatively lower. That's the thing.
Okay, thank you, sir. I will take another question from Tawa Mania. He like to thank you for the information presentation. Plus, he also like to know that about the software that is used for references or of extent work which was included in your last slide?
Yes. Mania is our MPhil scholar. She, not he. Okay, Mania is a good question. This is new development.
Okay.
New development. Whenever we cite, say, I have already some published work. Say Bokendro, some researcher give my my citation. So some statement, some paraphrasing statement. So according to Bokendro, within bracket 2005, it says that sun preference among the flying villages is mainly because of the. So that second author is giving citation. So since I have already published it, you know, the researcher can Google it. There is online. There are so many online websites where we can take this referencing help. So so clicking my name, Bokendro 2005, clicking there, then that thing reference will be coming. Everything will be coming. APA format. They will give APA format. They will give MLA format. They will give Harvard format. So in case your need is APA format, you just click it. You don't again make it wrong or right or how which one be name should be given. There will be full stop. There should be everything is there. So very shortcut. Now you can Google it and you can. So I will request my particularly young scholars, you try to listen to YouTube. We all are very much pleasure loving. We all are very much pleasure loving. So we sometimes should think of cognitive load. Sometimes instead of enjoying too much of movie, other things, we also try to listen. I mean, if it's necessary for me, we have to do it. Thank you.
Okay, sir. We have a question from Rajan Singh. Is there any minimum and maximum length of a research paper?
Yes, it depends.
I think he's considering about the pages. He's considering about the pages, I think.
Yeah. You know, nothing to worry. Nothing to worry. Based upon the journal. Say, you have a journal. This is a journal. Then a journal will have a guideline for the author. And everything will be given. So minimum, maximum what? Say 3,000 to 3,500. Minimum is 3,000, maximum is 3,500. Okay, so it depends upon the journey to journey. There may be little variation. So don't worry for number of words or number of pages. You have to strict for, you know, the type of journal where you have to submit your manuscript. Okay, everything is there. So before one submit, or not only submit, before one, you know, start writing, one has to sort out which type of journal I have to submit my paper. Then the scholar has to minorly read, minorly examine the guidelines, and accordingly he or she has to start working, just starting from the A up to the end Z. Thank you.
Okay, we have another question from Mr. Gonmai. He wishes to know how can we search for latest literature review related to our study?
Yes, searching for literature review, you know, we do more mainly on Google than in general Google. Then another search engine is Google Scholar, and all the articles or the research papers, they are popping up in Google Scholar. Some are freely accessible, some are not free. Okay, so freely accessible, no problem. We can download it and we can use it on disposal very easily. We can use it. But what about those articles or papers which cannot be downloaded? It's very important. And for that, we need some websites. The SCI Hub. You enter it through SCI Hub, and from that you can download it. Or another thing is Gen Life. So many books, many articles can be freely downloaded. Okay, so different. Yeah, this is very pertinent question. Different websites we have to enter it, particularly for reviewing articles, because you know, they are the research paper, scientific research reviewing paper is also considered scientific research, particularly for scientific review paper. review paper, we need to look all possible, literature review. But as I say, most of the time, some scholars, some professor, they give at least the last 10 years, you have to review. But never forget to review the most up-to-date information for the work. That's very important. So Google Scholar, then Search Ganga, then so many websites. I think you Google it, many websites will be coming up. And also, if necessary, people are very much one-sided, only to a word, a video, or something. Why not in some YouTube? You can also listen so many good discussion on the topic, and that also will be highly resourceful for your literacy. Thank you.
With that question, I would also like that, based on my experience, suppose if I found a paper related to my research, for let's say just you found one. So if you read that paper and if you are able to get that paper, go to that references. If you, based on that paper references, you can again search those papers. So it will be also a good collection like that. I have already shared the website which Sir Boken has mentioned. In that, even you can download books which is not available freely. So you need to know the ISBN or some paper link. Obviously, you can download. I have did so much. Okay, so I will go to the next question. We have question from Kaliveni. She wants to know how to find the grammatical errors and correct in research paper.
It's a very interesting question. As I say, I also mentioned in my deliberation, this writing a research paper is very tough, very highly competitive. Now it becomes struggle for academic existence. Okay, and so many hundreds of thousands of papers submitting from college professors, the university professors, from scholars, from students, so many hundreds of every day. Because now, as I say, publish or perish of UGC, that motto is going on for your promotional avenue, for anything, so on. So I think I mentioned in my past deliberation. So these things, publication, we need to examine properly. Hello, Ajit sir.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir. Sir, we can hear you.
So what was the question, please? I was just sidetracked. Just.
She wished to know how to make miscorrected the grammatical errors.
Okay. Oh, sorry, coming and tell. Oh, sorry. Yes, I was thinking something. So grammar now. Grammar, we can't learn it. We can't learn it in. If you like to have a good command over the language, one should very much read lots of books. He or she should be voracious reader. In order to improve our grammar, reading grammar is not necessary, I think. So because things comes automatically, but there are so many help books about when I'm writing my sentence is a correct sentence or not. So we can also take help from some such guidebooks. And also when you are typing something, there is also new Grammarly. Grammarly sometimes also very much useful. So that Grammarly one can download and see how much is. So, but I will say for non-native speakers like us, as when we are writing an article, a research paper, because a research paper is very highly logical, highly philosophical, particularly social science, highly philosophical. While I'm trying to carry my philosophy, I never have time for thinking of my grammar, my consistency in a sentence or consistency in the paragraph, or continuation. I don't have it. Rather, I was too much preoccupied with my concept. So at the end of the paper, particularly for revising of the language, you can do it. And you do your best, then give an English professor or someone whom you think that a little better in language. You take help, improve it. As I said, there will be, or else, as I said, there are so many grammar books, then you can also see it. But grammar is also very useful. Thank you.
Okay, we have question from Oza Wainam Ibochowa Singh. He wishes to know, is there any minimum and maximum words to form a title?
Yes, some people say maximum 18, some maximum 18, but a title having maximum 18 is not good. But why title is long? I think because of time constraint, I am not giving. There are titles which are very lengthy, but which does not reflect the main theme or the method. Okay, but there are short titles which reflect the method applied and the main theme. So one should be very intelligent in making a catchy and a very much a good general title. Thank you.
We have again the question from Chanabam Ritu Devi. She wished to know, for literature review, how many years should we go back? Can we cite very old literature, some 20 to 30 years back?
Yes, very relevant questions. It's confused by many of the scholars too. Many of the scholars, this is confused. Because if the topic is very common, and there will be so many researchers, I mean scholars who have been working in the field, even from 18th century, 19th century. Okay, yeah. But I say in relation to, this literature review for paper writing, literature reviews used to be very wise, because your number of what counts. Word economy is very important. One of the rejection of your paper is wordiness, unnecessary use of wordiness. Okay, so there should be proper balancing of words and the sentences. In the introduction, how many sentences or how many words, how many percentage of the whole paper? In the abstract, how many percentage? In the discussion, how many? That's why I say you please do researching. Everything is well must having guideline. You please see it. So for research paper, one should think of the very significant research work, very much specific to your topic, First, you do a literature browsing of the background information. In that case, I mentioned a little of domestic violence, general concept of domestic violence. Now it was narrowing, it was funneling down, specific, some preference, female feticide. It was narrowing down. Then, as I say, many of these scholars say that the last 10 years, at least the last 10 years, you consider it, and point to be noted, never skip the most updated information. Never skip the most updated, the recent most finding, I mean. And for this literature review, particularly for the MPL and PhD scholar, one of the important functions of this thing is that sometimes we are repeating the work. When you are doing literature review, you are repeating the work, and when at the time of plagiarism test, almost similar or almost 80-90% similar thing, then your dissertation or thesis will be rejected. The same topic, the same somebody has done it. How you are doing? This is no research. This is not originality. You are copying from somebody. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions from the participants? If you want to ask directly, you can unmute yourself and you can ask directly. We have no issue. We have still time.
Sir, I have seen some of my old friends. Was that Balesor?
Yeah, yes. So many people said it.
And thank you very much. After a long break, we have been here in Arunachal a long time.
Same to you, sir. Just, I don't want to ask any questions to you. Just I impress you in your presentation, and just I was remember your talk in our college regarding the Teachers' Day. That's
yes,
all.
Sir,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. To see you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Nice to see you.
Any other questions? We are ready to take up.
Was that Dr.
Sir.
So you can share the slide if some of the scholars they like it. I think that will be little helpful for them. Just the
what? Okay, we have another question from Mr. Kasimang Moyong, I don't know. Okay, so he's asking, can you please explain difference between statement of problem, scope, and significance of research with an example?
Scope,
Shall I repeat, sir?
significance, and statement problem. Yeah. Kasimang is my
It's
colleague.
difference between statement.
Oh,
okay,
so
sir.
Kasimang is my colleague. Is not he is he. Okay,
See, I'm sorry, Kasima, I'm very sorry.
I think if we refer to my hypothetical illustration, we can see that two things in the statement problem, or what's called problem of the research. We have already some known things. Okay, in the knowledge bank, we have some known things of a particular issue or topic. We have some known publication on spousal violence and son preference. So while we are reviewing it, we see it. And why we review it? Is there any gap? Is there any gap in the prior research work, so that my present work can fill the breach? That is number one. Then, is there any controversial or any how can I say issues which some other scholars already addressed it, but because of the dynamic nature of human society, is no more valid. It's more, valid is not sense, because sense is a universal phenomenon. So we like to examine that. And another thing is, while we are doing literature review, a particular topic is not at all doing. So the something that we know and that need to do extension work, or some questions that we need to address which others did not address, or even if they address a question, there is some controversy. That is the research problem. And unknown is also research problem. Unknown, as I said, nothing is uncertain, unexplored is also research problem. We need to do that work, and we need to add in the body of knowledge, and that is also research problem. Okay, so the significance, as I said, significance is why I am picking up this topic. Why not that topic? As I said, that in the research paper, relevancy is very important, and relevancy and significance is very important. Relevancy and significance very important. So significance means the importance of taking up that research topic, and scope is, as I say, scope is two. If we have to think, we may think of two concepts in scope. One is nomothetic, and the other is ideographic. Nomothetic means when we are taking up a topic, the topic is very vast. But we need to mention a little of the topic. That is nomothetic. On the one hand, ideographic is the topic is very narrow, but we need to explore more. We need to know more. For instance, I'm doing a research topic on strike in Arunachal Pradesh. Strike in Arunachal Pradesh. So strike, student strike, then civil body strike, then women's strike. So my topic is very vast. It's a nomothetic. But if I pick up my topic, narrowing down to student strike in Arunachal Pradesh, so it becomes an ideographic. It's very particular, and I need to do it so many works of a student. In-depth study of a student strike in ideographic. In the nomothetic, I need to know about student strike. I need to know about contractor strike. I need to know about women civil body strike. A little of different things. That is scope, and our objective and scope is very much related. The more broaden our objective, the more will be our scope. Okay, so we should be very wisely formulate our hypothesis and objective. Thank you.
Sir, shall we take more questions, sir? Are you okay with?
It's okay, no problem. I think
Okay, sir.
we all
You just take rest for 5 minutes. In meantime, I have some question. Maybe I will be able to reply. So I will just reply. So we have a question from Prakash. He wants to know if we want to publish a PhD thesis, how it should be done. Yeah. Okay, sir. Like I think publish means like you want to publish as a book. Then means you can contact any what to say publication center. Then they might be able to help you. I have some connection. I will be able to send you the details so that you can publish your thesis. Even my thesis is in the process of publishing as a book. They will modify some of the thing to make it readable or in the book format. So hopefully this answer your questions. We have questions from how can we collect paper from reputed journals. Okay, as Sir Broken has already mentioned, there is a website sci-hub.ac. This particular website is designed by one Germany. If you have a paper which is not freely available and you need to buy it, so click that paper and get the link, or if possible, get their DOI number. There is some number. So click that and open this website and you paste it here. Automatically, this website will try to hunt the web, hunt so many other websites which is able, and it will be available to you. Till now, as per my experience, around 95 to 98% of the paid journal is available there. So you can try on this. We have another question from Betty Selvi that how to collect heart disease related data like that. So I think there is some website, even in, if I'm not, sorry, do you have any answer for this? Heart disease related data collection.
What, sir? Hello?
Heart
Please
disease
repeat.
related database.
Heart disease.
Heart disease related data, yeah.
You mean heart disease?
Yeah, heart disease.
Yes.
Heart
Yes. Yes.
heart disease.
Hmm.
Heart disease now. Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Heart
Yes,
disease
sir,
related data. Yeah, for that you have to go to MedPub. MEDPUB is the medical, very highly reputed journals. There you will be. Okay, from there you will get it. But not only that, I just give one very authentic source, MedPub. Okay, that is one thing. And also there may be some other things. But I will say, you know, the journal which is in the database, yes, that's hard to just mention. These are Scopus, then Science Web. These are very much top-rated, highly reputed. And again, not only that, you have to see the number of citation and impact factor. Okay, this indicates that many scholars are citing the impact factor is very high. Then this may be one of the yardstick, you know, to consider it one of the most reputed research paper which deserve to, you know, review. That you can do it. It's very important. Very important.
Sir, what was this website name? MedPub. Can you please spell me out?
It's MEDPUB, the journal. MEDPUB is one of the database highly reputed, which is devoted to human health.
Okay, I got it.
So there you will get it. And
so
again,
I'm sending the website in the chat.
Heart disease, he will many articles will be there. And so many we have Medical Association of India, so they have many reputed publications. That from there also may try to look the relevant articles on heart disease. But now, just now, I shared one thing. This one very reputed journals on human health. There is one review. So these researchers, they took information data collection from predatory journals. So many of the doctors, they take data from predatory journals and they use it as a sources of data and use in their publication in meta-analysis or systematic analysis, they call it systematic review. They call it systematic review. It's a very complex review with using so many statistical tools. Very complex thing. It's seldom used in social science. So now more than thousands of such papers have been examined, and the scientists found that because of taking sources from predatory journals, the substandard finding, because human health is very important. If you are reviewing and synthesizing good points, many points from such journals, you give your conclusion, you need to think. Then doctors, these are theory. They may have use in practical application, and ultimately it may have impact so many bad happenings to human health. So your sources of data sometimes very much dangerous for using in human health. Thank you.
Any other question? Then we will put it in. Any
I
other
think
questions?
no question. Sir, no question. Ajit sir.
Yeah.
No questions.
Yeah, sir. Okay,
I also let me go to my department. Department nahi ja raha hai abhi tak. We exam is going on. There's so many busy. So
okay. Is there anyone who is to give some feedback to this, sir, directly? Then you can give now, or else we will go with the board of things. Sir Saxona, please be online. We will be ready for board of things. I won't be sharing feedback link now. I will be sharing the feedback link in your email by the evening. I will send the feedback link to the email or the WhatsApp. I will send you, but I won't be sharing here now. So is no feedback. So Saxona sir, can you give the for board of things for the resource person today? Saxona sir? Saxona sir? Saxona sir? Okay. Seems sir is not having. So okay sir. So on behalf of him, I will do the both of things. So okay, today from the beginning we have some technical issue from the participant side from sir also. Actually, sir, our today resource person, he is the department from the Rajiv Gandhi University in the Arunachal Pradesh state. So as it is a hilly place and Manipur is also a hilly place, we have network issue from time to time, and plus it's raining heavily here in India. So again, I am very thankful to the resource person, Professor Hobism Bokendra Singh, who is a professor of Department of Anthropology, Rajiv Gandhi University, Arunachal Pradesh. I am very thankful to him to invite to accept my invitation. And we have met only 2 or 3 times, but when I called him up and requested to be the resource person, he happily accepted. I am very thankful to you, sir. And again, today, I am very thankful to our principal madam and the staff of our colleges who help us out to fruitfully conduct this workshop. And again, thank you to all the participants who, even though we are having network issue and the joining problem with some WebEx, but still they cooperate with us and we are able to join. So please don't worry about the PPT. I will be sharing all the PPT from yesterday, today, and tomorrow by tomorrow evening after finishing the session, and I will be sharing all the recording through you. So if you were not able to present in time due to network issue, please don't worry. And if you have any question which you could not ask today and want to directly deal with the resource person, we will be sharing their email address. You can drop email to them, so they might be able to help you. So in the end, again, I am thankful to each and everyone for coming to this workshop and make it a successful one. So thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, Boken.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope you are not very late for the university.
No, it's
Thank
okay.
you, sir.
Thank
Thank you so much. Thank you. Those who could not fill up the feedback link yesterday, don't be worried. You can fill up anytime. There is no time limit for the feedback. We'll be sending you. If you receive the feedback today or yesterday, you cannot fill up, please fill up. I will be sharing the feedback link by evening. Joymalas, madam, I won't be able to share you the contact number. I will be sharing the email address, so you can contact him directly. I will assess whether I should provide his contact number to you or not. But I will provide the email address. You can drop the email. Ojaba lesora dum yagi bro.
Yeah, yo, yam nungai ge. Marak to haipetang talamdradi.
Sari mafam du zukaran. Arunachal upay letio.
Adu yam phajana tawi yam nook in the corner yam na gana tawi ma akhoi Thambal Mari College da hana leirambane oja. Mamangai.
Oh, mal leiramadi loksa padi yangsa ka tani taris.
Adu ma principal su moi MPSC ki tawbudo. Adu principal su dum khan bane ma se adida Arunachal gi thadok taba mana son da join taw na son taw gi bane. Yam academic oi bane yam akhoi adum kano oi na dum na loina rakpani mana bo ina. Sida leiringai da su dum yam kano oi jabani ma. Yam nungai oja thank you so much. Amani mathangi ozagi conference kai ka kadum loi aujani oja.
So next week there's a mula standard college ki ba NEP ki matang da.
Oh acha. Yauni oja.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. V. Kokila. We are trying our best. Thank you, Zoimala Devi.